Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Night Murtathon. It's been kind of a weird schedule, so I wasn't able to get... Alright, just turned my microphone off. Been quite busy the last few days. Have not been able to get things done the way I wanted to. Let me try and fix the position here on this. I've been doing... Oop, that's not the one I wanted. Let me bring this down a little bit. Trying to find my settings here. Well, may have to say this is... See which one this is. Oh, that's left to right. I got that pretty well set where I want it. There we go. What I want to do is go ahead and bring this up a little bit. Alright. Now I'm a little bit slanted. I'm going to try and fix the camera here. The camera decided it wanted to... There. That's a little better. I'm still crooked, but I don't have time to do much anything right now. Basically, I just decided to get on the air a little bit and kind of explain a few things that are going on. As I announced before, I am in the middle of something I am calling Project Mesa, or the Mesa Project. Now, I got delayed, so I haven't been able to get it going too much right quite yet. And also my schedule's been to the point where I really didn't have enough time to prepare before I came on the air tonight. Oops. I did the best I could to get hooked up, but I don't have anything that I had planned. I don't have worked out yet. So I'm basically, while I'm waiting for people to show up, I'm kind of getting my stream in order. This being the tail end of a holiday weekend, I half expected not a lot of people are going to tune up, which, it's understandable. Everybody needs to go out and enjoy the outdoors. It's that time of the year and everything. It's been raining virtually every night here. So I haven't been able to get out as much as I want to. I need to get outside because there's things I need to get done. But that is what it is. Now, so none of the things that I was going to talk about tonight are going to be talked about all that much. I'm just going to kind of do a short live stream, see if anybody comes in to chat. If nobody comes in to chat, it's fine. It's not the biggest thing in the world. This show does record, so if anybody wants to watch it later, it's there. Also, I may start going back and doing some of my recorded material. The Mesa project and some of the several projects that I have in mind for the next few weeks are going to be recorded. I'll probably do one night a week where I do my Murtathons. Now that the holiday is over, I'm going to try and make the Murtathons on Fridays starting at 9 p.m. Now that's subject to change. I had kind of a strange week, and so things didn't go at all the way I planned. I had planned on having a Friday night Murtathon, then a Saturday night, and then a Sunday night, and nothing panned out. I got extremely busy, and today was a busy day too. But I figured I'm going to try and manage to get in at least an hour or two of live streaming, and that's what I'm doing. If nobody shows, I've got 7 viewers right now, which is fine. If anybody else comes in the next few minutes, that's fine. Otherwise, this is going to turn into a recorded presentation, and we'll go from there. Now, as I prepare a little further, oh, I know what I forgot to do. I'm going to put this over here. Oops. This is not by any means a professional live stream. I'm an amateur streamer. I do this as a hobby. So a lot of times getting things set up doesn't work out like it should. Yes, kind of a sloppy webcast, but I do my best. Let's see what I'm trying to do now. Let's see, import an image. Come up here. All right, let me see. Let me bring up. Now, this is going to be the title slide for when I do the Mesa project. I'm going to keep kind of secret as to what the Mesa project really is. It's one of these things where I need to kind of keep exactly what this is about under wraps, but it's going to be something a little bit different than I've done in the past. It's not going to have to do with the Russian assets. So, it's one of these things where when it happens, you'll understand what it is. And there's going to be a number of projects like this. I'm going to, for the most part, get away from talking about the Russian assets, which they are. Because what I'm going to do is let me bring up something that's rather curious. It's going to take me a minute to cue this up, so bear with me. But, because I've had a rather interesting thing happen on Twitter today. But we had my friends over to Twitter are sending me notifications, and yeah, it's the usual. The Russian asset is once again exploiting children, in order to try and keep himself worthwhile on the internet. And oh, I see what I can do. I haven't used this console in a while, so I'm a little bit rusty, but one thing I'm having to do, I've got to change my domain hosting from one type of plan to another, and it's something that I've meant to do months ago, but I'll be doing that over the next few weeks, so that's going to tie me up. The Mesa project's going to tie me up, and no, don't want that one. And quite frankly, I'm kind of beating a dead horse when it comes to the Russian assets, because people, it's like the only people that are paying attention to this right now is maybe a half dozen people that fight this moron and his other people, and who, oh, I know what I can do. Yeah, the people out there that kind of fight this idiot, and that's about it. And the only thing is, hi Macy, welcome. It's Witness 1 here in Apopka, Florida. And this is a rather informal, disorganized mess of a live stream. So, it's it is what it is. Um, Basically, it's a retired truck driver that chats on a small YouTube. I'm going to be doing all kinds of different little things. For about the past few months, I've been discussing internet scammers and internet frauds, and I'm going to diversify. I'm not completely eliminating the topic, but I'm moving away from it. Because quite frankly, it's an exercise in futility. People are going to continue to believe in this stupidity, and it really just isn't worth the effort. There's other things that I can do on there, um, and yeah, so that's what I've chosen to do. Um, and what's kind of funny, um, I'm having to go through. All right, I'm not at all finding what I want here. Like I said, I'm very ill prepared, so I didn't get this set up properly. I may do a recorded video. Ooh, hot and dry in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I did a couple scans throughout the country, and I've noticed that there are places that are actually hotter than Orlando. The big thing that happens here, though, is humidity. It was somewhat comfortable today. I was out and about. I did a couple things while I was out, and it just seems to be. It was warmer up north than it was down here. Of course, we've had a considerable amount of rain, which is good because I did some planting. I planted what are known as elephant ears, which is this huge, it's a plant with these humongous set of leaves on it, and it's common here in Florida. So, and the first of two of the elephant ears are starting to show up above soil. I've planted different flowers and such, not really flowers, but greenery, stuff that will grow here in Florida, and they're starting to come up. So, doing pretty good. I got the hiccups, so excuse me. I had planted a couple of bushes, and I was going to use those as a cover for a trellis I got, and they promptly died. And I couldn't figure out why, because these things are usually easy to grow, and it turns out that the planter I'm using, which are kind of fake whiskey barrels, have little things on the bottom of them, and you're supposed to poke the inserts out so the water will drain out. And I didn't do that, and I drowned the bushes. So, it was kind of a black thumb day for those two things. So I corrected the mistake, and I put in, one of the things I put in was a cactus plant. Now, let me go down to me here. I think I'm beginning to find out. Nope, didn't put it there either. Boy, I really screwed up today. Because I had pictures that I had done. I took pictures and everything, and I thought I had this all set up, and of course I didn't. So that means I've got to go back. And a later broadcast, I'm going to have this stuff up here. Probably one of the reasons this is going to be relatively short. And another thing I've been doing is I've been binge watching. There's been stuff that's on Netflix. They had Unsolved Mysteries came out with a totally brand new set of things, so I watched every darn one of them, darn one of those things. There's a miniseries called Dark that I've gotten about 3/4 of the way through. That's one of the reasons I'm going to cut short, is because I'm going to watch Dark. And there's some, the streaming services. I have Netflix, I've got Hulu, and I've also got Amazon Prime. And there's all kinds of movies and original shows and stuff that you can binge watch and stuff like that. And when it starts up again, CBS All Access has a couple of shows that I'll be watching over there. So, so because of that, I'm not on the air as much because, quite frankly, I don't want to bore people to death doing this thing every night and not having a whole heck of a lot to talk about. And tonight, I'm woefully unprepared. So that's oops, But I have things in the pipeline. We have some rocket launches coming up on the coast. There's a big one coming up the end of July. And I'm going to go over to the Kennedy Space Center and try once again to stream it. Now, the last time I tried this, there was, I couldn't live stream it on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. So I live streamed it to either both my Facebook and my Twitter account. Because I've got it set up to where I can transmit to both services at the same time. And it worked a little. The problem is there were so many people doing Wi-Fi over there that the service was terrible. And also, if you were going through a carrier like AT&T, there were so many people on carriers on the AT&T group of cell towers in that area that it overwhelmed the system, and nobody was getting quality stuff out of there. My video was terrible on the live part. Now, I did record the launch, and naturally I have not uploaded them yet. There's still images, there's the launch itself, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I mean, there is some stuff over on Twitter that I live streamed from down there. Pictures that I took of the various areas, and this was back when everything was still closed at the Kennedy Space Center. Now, they have opened the Kennedy Space Center in part, but not a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can't do there yet. I would not suggest anybody go over there until they completely open things up, if they do. We're in kind of a strange situation here in Florida where we can't make up our mind if we're going to open or not, because we did do partial opening. They opened bars and stores and every other thing, and guess what? We spiked. We're one of the top states in the United States now for the coronavirus. New cases every day. The national rate's up to approaching 3 million people. There's been 132,000 deaths. Florida's right up there. I can't remember the numbers right now, but it's pretty darn bad. So I don't expect to see things getting better here in Florida for quite some time. So, we have that problem. So, anyway. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is, somebody sent me a picture, and I'm going to try and put it up on my slide, so bear with me. And what they sent me, okay, I go over to notifications. Who was it? Oh, I need messages, not notifications. Okay, here we are. Okay. Okay, I'll bring this over into image, and doing this live is kind of like, it's hard to multitask. Hi, Rebecca, welcome. It's going to be kind of a light night tonight. As usual, I don't seem to, I'm getting a decent number of people in here, but people are just kind of, I think we're still in the holiday spirit. We're in the summer where everybody's out doing things. Okay, so there's that. So what I want to do here, say, okay, this will work. Now what somebody did is they sent a picture of this so-called pregnant child. Let me get out of the screen here a little bit. And they put up an article that said this girl was pregnant. And the problem is it's completely wrong. Now these Russian assets that are part of QAnon, they do this. They take and they exploit these children. You know, these are children in a foreign country, and they go and they put up pictures and they say, oh, the pedophiles that got the kid pregnant. No, they did not. And what I do, one of the things I do is I research these stories. And so when this picture was sent to me, I did research and I found out that this is a hoax that has been going around on YouTube by people like these Russian assets. And this is from a thing called ELLINIKA hoaxes. And this is a Middle East version of a check on whether or not these stories are true. And it's not true. You go on these Facebook sites, Twitter sites, and you see a thing, 11-year-old Islamic bride, let this sink in. And it's a lie. Just like everything they talk about is a lie. Now I'm going to read a little bit of this. And this is from this website that I just linked. It tells exactly what happened here. And, quote, the girl in the photo in question is named Roya Jan and is 8 years old. And it's a boy. Now they're sitting there claiming that this picture is of a little girl. The only problem is it's a boy. You know, last I knew, boys can't get pregnant. Now, you know, I suppose with JFK Jr. coming back to life from being mangled in an aircraft crash and, you know, all these things that are being done, like these DNA babies that look like Martians and the fish people and the reptile people, this sort of thing is possible. That this boy could be pregnant. But let me get back to the story. He suffers from Mediterranean anemia. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what the medical name for this thing is, but it's known as Mediterranean anemia. And his swollen abdomen is due to swelling of the spleen. Symptoms of the disease include swelling of the liver and spleen. The photo was taken by Dr. Maras, Azizyar, on January 9, 2009 at Abu Ali Sina Hospital in Mazar-e-Sharif, a city in northern Afghanistan. Roya had to undergo a dangerous operation which could not be performed in Afghanistan because she, I presume, I don't know who she is, would not take responsibility. However, his family could not bear the cost of operation in another country due to their financial situation, so a Facebook was launched to get the necessary amount. The money was raised and performed at Sikh Hospital in Mashhad, Iran. The operation was a success, and Roya is still in Iran. Now, there's a bit of confusion here because I'm going through here in the first sentence it said he, and now it's determined it's a she. So apparently this is a girl after all. And it's a before and after picture of the little girl. She had the operation. She looks like any normal little girl. Yet the Russian assets who spread these false QAnon theories around on Facebook and elsewhere did not bother, once again, to check their source. And so this poor little girl who went through all this hell is now the subject of a hoax. And all the goodwill that was done on Facebook to raise the money to get this little girl's operation was basically obliterated. Nobody knows about it because these assholes decided that they wanted to perpetuate their false narratives by taking advantage of this photograph. Now, this is done constantly. I've written about this in the past, and I've done YouTube videos of it. There's another video called The Raccoon Children, where a Russian asset claimed that the child had been beaten to the point where he had these raccoon mask bruises on their eyes. And it turned out to be a form of cancer. So they exploited this child that had a serious condition for their own purposes. And when exposed, they didn't apologize. They didn't say, well, it's a mistake. You know, somebody gave us the information we didn't know. They just completely ignored it. And as a matter of fact, they still, to this day, perpetrate that hoax. Because the beauty of what they do, in their eyes, is nobody checks them. They believe them outright. They're not going to doubt a single word they say. You know, you got a guy out there who's unemployed. He runs around in an SUV full of junk, steals Wi-Fi to do an occasional webcast. Either that or he's mooching off of people to put this false stuff up on the air. And, you know, this is a constant thing. You go over to their Facebook page, their website, the blog that this individual does, or the YouTube channel that's up, and all this false crap is there. And people just send him their money, they praise him, they think he's the biggest hero. And they don't care if this stuff is true or not. You know, they can't come up with a logical explanation as to why this stuff is true, but they believe it anyway. And when you point out to them why it can't possibly be true, they ignore you or they attack you. Now, I had a curious thing happen today, and I'm not going to bring the site up because it's a waste of time, but one of the websites these Russian asset has is over on YouTube. And the theme of the website is that the individual is supposed to be a spokesman for the United States government. There's this government task force that he has been appointed, he's not being paid a dime, to write about what this task force is doing. And they take credit for things that are happening in the news. And what happens is people believe it. You know, he's got this picture of a plane with a bunch of soldiers marching towards it. That's supposed to be like the logo of the task force, when in reality it's a stock photo that's released by the United States Air Force and had to do with troop deployments. It had nothing to do with going out to California and setting fire to California and blowing up a bunch of caves. Didn't happen. Hi, Moderate. Welcome to the live stream. And And that's what they do. And you're right, Fern. I wish there was a way to put a stop to this. Or Macy, sorry. I wish there was a way to put a stop to it. But, people are gullible. These people that believe in the QAnons have a very specific political agenda. And because of that, Putin, through his psyops, found the perfect opportunity, created QAnon, and uses QAnon to infiltrate these various groups, like this task force, and use them to spread this fake information. Now, Putin's doing the same thing on the left, but well, it's good to see you too, Moderate. But the right is the most gullible portion of this because they don't like Democrats, they don't like the left, and rather than seek the truth, they'll just automatically believe anything on dirt or what have you that QAnon comes out with about the deep state and all this other stuff. And it's utter and clear nonsense, but you can't convince these people. I mean, if people are going to believe that a dead liberal has been reincarnated and is going to run with a right-wing president as vice president, and the current vice presidential candidate is just going to disappear from the scene, you can't fight that. And these people are going to believe this shit. They believe a lot of stuff. These people believe, for instance, there's a guy out in the West that has a copyright or a patent, whichever you want to choose, on the United States flag. And they come up with this fringe flag business. They don't understand why there are fringe flags, flags that had a little fringe around them, because they don't do their homework. They just throw this stuff out there. And if people believe it, fine. If not, they call them out. They say, oh, you people are part of the deep state. You're this, you're that. We've turned you into the U.S. government. You're going to get arrested and all this. And so you have all this utter and complete bullshit being broadcast all over the internet. Especially here on YouTube. YouTube is the home to a lot of this nonsense. About 80 to 90% of what you see on YouTube is this right-wing propaganda. All kinds of conspiracy theories. You have the famous Pizzagate and this gate and that gate. You got guys going around saying that there's child slave colonies on Mars. The big hit is Satanism. Everybody's a Satanist and they do this, do that. And it's quite funny in a way. But the lifeblood of these people is right-wing videos on YouTube, which they claim are being censored when they're not. You can type in all kinds of stuff, and all these right-wing stuff is going to come up, especially QAnon. They are all over YouTube. There's millions of them out there. And it's a very, very well-organized Russian operation. And the proof of it is beginning to come out. It's been speculated that Russia had something to do with QAnon, and it was originally thought that Russia and some of the Eastern Asian European countries were taking advantage of our ignorance and taking advantage of QAnon, but it has turned out that QAnon is actually created by the Russians to confuse us all. To completely confuse our political discourse here. They know that the left and the right hate each other, and they exploit it. And they come up with all this misinformation, and it's intensified over the past few months. And, they want to overthrow this government. They figure the way they're going to overthrow this government is by uh, exploiting our discourse. Now, I'm not saying, moderate, that everybody on the right is sucked into this, but there's a certain element, like our nut from up in Minnesota, that believe this stuff, or at least exploit it, because that's the nature of their personality. They've always believed in this stuff, and now QAnon, through the Russian government, is, making them feel like they're worth something, and they put all kinds of garbage out there, and they put out misinformation about everything. They put out misinformation about the coronavirus, telling everybody, don't wear your mask, you're gonna suffocate, and all this, which is baloney. But people are not sophisticated in a lot of cases, and they're gonna go right along with it. And so what you have is a bunch of fakery out there. Now, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, and I said back in May, is I was going to get away from talking about a certain individual by name. And I'm sticking to that. But I also said in that video and in subsequent videos that I would discuss this individual if events or circumstances warrant. If something happens that is of a primary concern because of this individual, I would talk about him. And that is what I'm sticking to. Now, this particular individual that is also a Russian asset, and I'm going to bring up nope, this is wrong. While I'm here, I gotta see what this is. Oh, okay. Look at that later. But, I'm trying to do two things at once, folks, so please excuse me. But, she basically said, well, gee, I thought you weren't going to talk about this guy. And now all of a sudden you're talking about him. And, well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read her little post. Now, I find it funny that she's even paying attention to this YouTube stream. And wrong category again. So why am I not finding, oh, there it is. This works differently than the other account. But I'm trying to bring things up. All right, let's go down through. Okay, 6 minutes. So this particular Russian asset is watching my stream. She sent me a message. Mert, the wolf packing is running away from you. Well, Russian asset, you should be very pleased, because if the wolf pack is running away from me, then you're in the clear. But what I find curious about this is that she is paying attention to this deteriorating, shrinking YouTube channel. And I don't understand. And what I'm doing is I'm coming down, scrolling down, because I wasn't aware of this until it was sent to me by a friend of mine that monitors this account. Why he does is beyond me, but I'm finding some curious things on this account. But, and I'm not sure these people understand what's going on with a few things, but that's fine, and their ignorance is going to blow up in their face in a few months when they come to realize. But 20 hours ago, this individual put up this. Mert from 5/13/20. Mert was going to change and no longer talk about the Russian asset. Well, that has not changed, and everyone left his channel. See ya, Mert. I told you to go to Walmart to work. What does the Russian asset know, and what did he give to the Pentagon? And she left a link to my May 13th, 2020. Well, what I'm going to do, so you people don't have to go look for it, is I'm going to put the link in here to that particular video. Now, since I did this video back in May 13th, I've done subsequent videos, and I basically said just that. This was an introductory video I made on my yard cam. I did this for two reasons. First of all, I was testing out the equipment to see if it was possible to do that. And also, it was to stay tuned. I'm going to be discussing further my policies when it came to discussing the Russian asset. And, you know, apparently the woman does not understand or does not comprehend the English language, because I made it clear that if there is something newsworthy that any of these Russian assets do or talk about, I'm going to discuss it. And yes, this is my live stream. I can do what I damn well please with it. If people want to stay here, fine. If they want to leave, thank them for being along as long as they were, and you know, hope you find something out there better than me. And there's a lot of people that are. I'm not the type of person that's going to beg for people to come in here. I'm not going to ridicule or criticize people if I leave. We have a thing called freedom of association in this country, and in this planet actually, and people are free to tune in or not tune in to this or any other YouTube channel. If you come in, fine. If you don't, fine. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to be sad. You know, life is life. You know, people have a choice. You know, there's places that I don't go to. I don't agree with them. They may be friends of mine, but I just don't agree with what they say, so I don't go over there. You know, there's plenty of channels like that out there. And there's people that I won't go and listen to because I don't believe, you know, they're not my friends, and I don't believe in what they say. And so there's that. But she linked my YouTube. So people come in here, they listen to the YouTube, and they say, hey, he said that he might talk about them every once in a while if there's something worth talking about. And there has been things in that these people have done, like I just mentioned tonight, that I discussed. Now, it is true that I am going to be moving to expand what I will be doing on this show. Project Mesa is one of those projects. Now, as of yet, the Mesa project is not fully underway. There are things that I'm doing with the Mesa project that, because of that, I am having to, and this is not working properly, of course. Oops. Alright, let me bring that back. Well, I went back to the wolf pack, so what can I say? Boy, this is just... Alright, I'm going to leave that alone. But anyway, you got to see a sample of my my slide for that show. And, of course, this came up. So let me... Alright. Boy, I'm really messing up tonight. But, that's, you know, that's... Alright, I guess I got that straightened out finally. I'm not the best in the world at this sort of thing, and I've been away from the software for the good part of a week and a half. So, needless to say, it takes a little while for this stuff to catch up. And yes, of course, it's freedom of speech. I mean, they're free to spew their nonsense. and they're also free to get called out for it. But, it's the thing of it is, I have the freedom of speech to point out their lies. And if they don't like it, tough shit. And what's funny is because of the fact that I point out their lies, they gaslight me. They put up illegal phone calls that were made to me. They put up these ridiculous cartoons, which amount to nothing. They do all kinds of stuff. And what's funny about that is Dodger when he saw that, he said, hell, I'll do the same thing. And so he makes little skits poking fun of the one Russian asset, and then he complains about it. He says, my feelings are getting hurt because they're poking fun of me and blah, 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 blah. And, of course, he turns it around and says, it's this deep state stuff. We're all getting paid to do all this stuff. Which is wrong, of course, but, you can't talk common sense into these people. It's just impossible. But the one thing I find interesting, now everybody knows that this one woman got arrested, this Epstein's girlfriend, and they're saying, the Democrats are going to get it. She's got all this information on the Democrats, and everybody's going to get arrested, and the deep state's going to sink, and blah, blah, blah. And the only trouble is, I would not be celebrating right now if I were these people. Now, we got something else. July 4th she put up. I thought that was interesting. See, they do come up with stuff to gaslight me with, and what they don't really understand is these sites that they use in their gaslighting don't fact check. As a matter of fact, in order to get these defamatory posts removed from these sites, you have to pay over $1,000 a piece. And the funny thing about this is there's one here, The Truth About Carrie Lynn. They actually attacked a woman that's a friend of mine. All she did was support me as a friend, and these people attacked her. And this is how things work on the internet. And they are trying to get me off the air. Now, what's funny is this is July 4th, this went up, this gaslighting on me, and I haven't been paying too much attention. And so, for whatever reason, they decided to come after me. And I hadn't, if you go back through my records, you will see I haven't even been on the air. July 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, that whole weekend, I was not on the air. I told everybody I'm not going on the air because it's a holiday and everybody's going to be off doing their thing. And these people just went out and they dug up all this defamatory material that was written about me and put it up there. Now, what they don't understand is people could do the same thing about them. They can go to Rip Off Report or any of these other sites and they can do the same thing. They can put up anything there and it doesn't have to be true. And because nobody fact checks. I said, fine, it's there. All you gotta do is Google it. I'm not going to dispute it. If you read through, you can see where I've discussed it. And, these people, it's anonymous, innocent bystander. Nobody says their true name. You can't sue these people because they hide. They go after people that support me. I mean, the poor woman didn't do anything except say, hey, the guy's honest. I like him. I met him personally. So what? You don't like him? Go somewhere else. But they won't do that. But the reason they're after me is because I have pointed out that the Russian asset that she supports advocates violence against an innocent woman. The other Russian asset right now is sitting in his son's house in Florida, awaiting trial because he advocated the execution of this woman. And neither one of these men have met her. And the reason this one Russian asset goes after the woman is because he wanted to barge in on what she was doing in Florida, and she told him to take a hike. And it's kind of like a guy that gets rejected from a date with a woman. He doesn't like no for an answer, so he went after her, made her a suspect in this international baby ring. And none of it's true. But it doesn't deter him. He's going to do it anyway. And rather than defend himself and plead his case, he ran away. He's got an arrest warrant because he's too chicken to show up in court and defend himself. He's hiding, sucking money off of people because he won't defend himself. You know, says he's a spokesman for this big government agency. He's supposed to have the president of the United States at his beck and call. Trump has never heard of him. Well, Martha, I'm not giving out the names. There are people on here who know who they are. They can get a hold of you and mention the names. But what these are is, this is a strange woman who is in the real estate business in Minnesota, who is really big on QAnon. I mean, she's on here. She'll put up hundreds of posts about QAnon with some of the dumbest things you'll ever see on the internet. And somehow she got hooked up with this idiot from Minnesota who used to be a pizza delivery driver, and, you know, decided that she wanted to hook up with him. And of course she wanted to exploit him because this guy was very popular in the nutcase area. They created out of nowhere this government task force, which the President of the United States had nothing to do with and does not have anything to do with, and set up GoFundMe and pay me this and all kinds of stuff, and they're raking in thousands of dollars for bullshit. None of it's true. They go around saying that JFK Jr. is alive and he's going to be vice president in place of Pence. And what's funny is Donald Trump hasn't said a word about it. I have yet to this day to hear from Donald Trump where he is going to name John F. Kennedy Jr. as vice president candidate in place of Mike Pence. It has yet to happen. And we've only got 120 days until the election, and about half that for the Republican National Convention, which would be the last opportunity for Donald Trump to name John F. Kennedy Jr. as his new running mate. Because if by the month of August or so, whenever this damn thing is going to happen, if he does not announce that JFK Jr. is going to be the next vice president of the United States, if Trump is elected, then QAnon's theory, rumor, claim is going to go out the window, just like everything else they've done. Nothing QAnon has predicted has come true. I mean, they've had what you could call a lucky guess, but that's it. Well, it's like I said, Macy, I'm going to be talking about the Russian assets from time to time, because that's what they are. QAnon is an arm of the Russian government. It's being run by professional propagandists, people from what used to be the KGB and other agencies that do this. They've been interfering with our political processes for a long time. And Nikita Khrushchev said it. He said, "We will bury you. We will defeat you with your own people." And that's exactly what they're doing. They have been studying us for decades. They know all these nut groups. They know what they believe, and they're using them to disrupt and destroy this country. And these two idiots from Minnesota, along with some other people, are letting them do it because it gives them the money and the attention they want. And there's a possibility that these Russian agents are feeding these people money to persuade them to keep this crap up. Because this woman is coming up with a huge amount of money. This one woman, she has spent tens of thousands of dollars on this unemployed pizza delivery driver. She actually bought him a car. She fixed the transmission in one car and openly declared that she spent like $5,000 alone on this guy's car. She's given him money in the past, still gives him money. And it's said that she bought this particular car because this is a $12,000 car that was paid for in cash. This guy does not have a job, and they have no explanation as to where he got $12,000 to buy a car. And it came from her. Rather than use it to put her kids through college or go on vacations or stuff, she uses it to support and subsidize this unemployed pizza delivery driver who broadcasts every once in a great while on Wi-Fi in a car full of junk. And the latest racket that they pulled, which was a complete flop, was that they took a book that he's not supposed to even be publishing, that he's said is a rare book, and I think they're trying to get $1,000 a piece for these books, even though he's got about 500 or 600 copies of these books. And he can pick up the phone and get them printed for about $5 a piece because they're self-published books. He went to a publisher, paid to have these books printed. And I checked with the company, and they charge about $5 a piece to publish these paperback books. So he's running a scam. But, he gets away with it. He's not selling any books. Anybody that pays $1,000 for one of his books is a moron. Because I've got 2 copies of the book that one was given to me for free, and the other I paid $20 for. And it's the hardest thing I've ever had to read. It's a joke. He repeats things over and over and over again. He's very disorganized. And it's incredibly hard to read. And because I read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, which is a 1,900-page book, and it's easier to read than this thing. And it was written by a journalist. This guy claims to be a journalist, and he writes like a 3-year-old. This particular woman is aiding and abetting a fugitive from justice, but that's the least of her problems. She also is implicated in the aiding and abetting of a kidnapping, and the aiding and abetting an attempted kidnapping in at least 2 cases. So her troubles are just beginning. These people are lucky as all get out that the coronavirus hit, because right now the courts aren't doing anything because of coronavirus. Courthouses are closed. Law enforcement agencies are busy with more important matters, so they've kind of put these people on the back burner. But their problem is that they are going to have to answer eventually for what they've done. And it's, since their criminal actions are ongoing, they are not beating the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations for aiding and abetting and a kidnapping, federal kidnapping, is quite long, so they have that to worry about. And it's just like this business with the Epsteins. Everybody thought that uh, Epstein was going to end when Epstein died. And then, so what happens? Epstein's girlfriend gets arrested. Now, another thing that I noticed about this particular bunch is all these pictures they put up on their page about people that have been around Epstein, they're leaving somebody out. And they're not mentioning. And who are they leaving out? Donald Trump. Now, there are hundreds of pictures of Donald J. Trump with Epstein. There's records of Donald J. Trump with Epstein. Now, is Donald Trump guilty? Who knows? These people are saying, oh, the Democrats ought to be worried. There are certain people that ought to be worried about what this woman has to say. But I wouldn't count my chickens before they hatch. Because according to many, many sources, everybody from the left to the extreme right may have a lot to worry about with this woman come this Friday. Because she has hinted that she's going to sing like a canary. And her lawyer has stated time and again that this woman has hundreds of thousands of files, videos, pictures, documents, you name it, she's got it, that are going to implicate a boatload of people. And it's going to be from the left to the right. It's going to be virtually any profession you can think of. There's going to be millionaires and billionaires that are going to get caught up in this. So unless this woman commits suicide or dies of the coronavirus or has a serious problem, a lot of heads are going to roll. And the woman right now is probably wondering when the day is going to come that she's going to commit suicide. Because everybody's saying that Epstein did not commit suicide. And of course, these idiots that are Russian assets are saying that Epstein is still alive. Well, that's going to be interesting. Because if Epstein is still alive, which he is not, again, this does not get anybody off the hook, because there are people, again, all across the spectrum are going to have a lot to worry about when this woman starts singing. And yeah, this Hollywood madam that committed suicide and hung herself. Well, did she or did she not? Was it voluntary hanging or a stage hanging? You don't know it. It just seems to be when people get wrapped up in these huge things out there, these this gate and that gate, that all of a sudden people start dying. And it's always the ones with all the information. So, they had better, Jesus Christ, that looked like a, they better protect her. Because if anything happens to this woman, people are going to be mad. They're going to be mad on all fronts. It's not going to be the left that's going to be mad. It's not going to be the right that's going to be mad. It's going to be everybody's going to be mad. When Epstein decided to be suicided, everybody on all sides of the aisle were mad. And so if other people start kicking the bucket here, or disappearing, or getting paid off, or pleading the fifth, or whatever they do, there's going to be hell to pay. So, but this woman didn't run off to Connecticut, for only to keep testifying, she went to Connecticut to try and stay alive. Or Massachusetts. I think it's Connecticut, unless it's Massachusetts. But she stayed on this farm in the middle of nowhere because she wanted to stay alive. And now she's in a position where if the video cameras all of a sudden quit working and security guards or corrections officers finally decide that they want to go to sleep, there might be a problem. So everybody's on a death watch when it comes to this woman to see what's going to happen. So, but, these people are over there on the Facebook and elsewhere saying, oh my God, Clinton's in trouble and this person's in trouble and Biden's in trouble. Like to see their faces when all these Republicans and perhaps the President of the United States winds up in the thick of this. Because he's not exactly on a clean slate. There's people that have been accusing him of all kinds of things for quite a long time. And there's all kinds of lawsuits implicating that he's a pedophile. So, he has all the incentive in the world to hope for this woman to have a fatal accident or what have you, to catch the coronavirus, maybe take bad food or something and just go. So it's gonna be interesting. Well, we'll see, Marcia. I'm not saying it's going to happen or not going to happen. It's just, we've seen some weird crap take place. And I would not rule out anything at this point. I didn't expect Epstein to croak, and he croaked. So I would not place any bets on that, Martha. It's just, this thing that it's only the left and only Democrats is not going to cut it. There's all kinds of people. I mean, if they come out and say Clinton or anybody else is guilty and they got evidence, he should be punished for it. I'm not going to defend him. If they come up with clear-cut, absolute proof, and a jury buys it, tough shit. You're going to jail, dude, or dudette. But, don't automatically say, oh, my guy, it can't happen to my guy. Because he's not your guy. He is the current president of the United States. And he is not above the law. If he is found to be guilty, he should be punished. Simple. Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree, because I have learned not to say that anything will or will not happen, because we've had things happen that everybody thought was not going to happen. I did not think that Casey Anthony was going to be acquitted. She got acquitted. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in this country that we didn't think was going to happen. And it's happened. And, there's a lot of crazy things going on in this country. This country is falling apart. And if people don't start thinking with a brain and using common sense, we aren't going to have a country. Because Russia is going to be right there to take it away. And we're going to wind up being a Russian affiliate. So, everybody stick to their guns, believe in what they want to believe, and we'll see who's right or wrong as the days go on. Because it's just, Well, I guarantee you, if we invade Iran, there's going to be hell to pay. I would not be invading Iran right now. If we do, we're just asking for trouble. We just I would suspect, and I almost believe that we may find ourselves in some kind of a war before November, because wars seem to come about during elections. And, you know, and all it takes is one excuse, and we're going to be sending our military overseas to get killed. And so, we'll see. Well, thank God for that. Yeah, I've had to put up with all these conspiracy theories for so long that it's hard for me to recognize sarcasm. Um, yeah, I remember the movie. So it's just, when you get a certain level of frustration, it's hard to engage in sarcasm because this country is just being so damn stupid in some of the things that's going on. No, you're doing a good job at sarcasm. I'm just, I've been inundated with all these ridiculous conspiracy theories for so long that, sarcasm goes right over my head. Uh, I should recognize it as sarcasm, but it's kind of hard to do in my case because I see stuff, the things that I see that I don't talk about is just, it's enough to, baffle people. Let's see. Well, I'll check into that later. My email is filling up again. Now everybody else probably got the joke but me, that's just, don't. Da, 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 da. Christine Maxwell photographed with slain Colorado girl. Well, where's the photograph? Let's see. No photograph. This is what he does. He puts up stuff. He's saying that this Maxwell woman was photographed with John Benet Ramsey, or might have been, but no picture. Somebody might Photoshop something. I don't know. But this is what he does. But this is how these Russian assets work. They either create the stuff themselves, or people create it for them and they just take it and use it. And it's all false information. I get the biggest kick out of frazzled. I mean, that's a word that's been around for decades, and yeah, he thinks it's some kind of secret code. And now, one thing he did, it's kind of funny, is he came out with this thing that said half human, half animal hybrids, and the source of his information that this is true was a movie. Movie, I believe it's called Splice, and it's a science fiction movie. But he says this is Hollywood's telling the story that this stuff is actually true. Well, all it is a damn movie. I mean, that's how small-minded and ridiculous these people are. They rely on movies to back up their stuff. Military arrests 16,000 again. Recycling old stuff. But the funniest thing I saw is this woman went into a Target and literally destroyed all these masks. And the woman's got a $40,000 Rolex on. She claims that she's a spokesperson for the President of the United States, which would mean that this Russian asset has got competition. I just found it funny. Uh, the real pandemic is child sex trafficking. Well, that is, nobody is in favor of child sex trafficking except the traffickers. But the problem with uh, all this is they're being misdirected. They are accusing people that have nothing to do with it of being involved in child trafficking and not going after the actual people. And you have to wonder if this isn't the purpose of these two, is to direct attention away from the actual pedophiles and accuse people that are not guilty and actually fighting the pedophiles in order to protect them. That would make sense when considering what they're doing. Because they are attacking innocent people with these stupid rumors. They're accusing a woman with 3 children of being involved in an international child trafficking organization in order to get attention away from the actual people. Because there's been some odd things that's happened with these individuals and those they associate with. It has to make you wonder if they're not protecting the actual pedophiles, and if they are themselves involved in some manner. Because it would be easy if these people were to go after the actual, true pedophiles, child traffickers, sex traffickers. I mean, it's in the news every day. We got a sheriff down in Polk County. He arrests these people every day. You don't hear that much about it. And maybe there may be a little clip that says, we got a bunch of badasses that got arrested down in Florida. But then you go and it's innocent people being involved in this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, it's a waste of resource. And it's a shame, really. They have all these people. They could be doing a lot of good. They'd be doing the world a favor. But instead, they have to dispense in this nonsense. And the only thing I can come up with is they're either being unduly influenced by Russians, or they are themselves guilty of what they accuse others of being. That they are in fact the pedophiles and the sex traffickers. And they are hiding this by projecting against innocent people. It's the only thing I can come up with. Because their accusations, their theories are easily debunked. It takes about 5 minutes in most cases to debunk their theories. So, what are you going to do? Because as long as people believe this nonsense, and are scared to fight them because of the gaslighting they do, then they're going to keep getting away with it. And this is one of the reasons I've decided that I'm going to kind of veer away from it, because it doesn't do any good. Now, for whatever reason, and this Russian asset over on Facebook just mentioned it, is I've got probably her following me on Twitter. And it's called Task Force. I mean, it's the same name they use on their. They're following 16 people, and they have 3. Oh, who's following them? Oh, more. Let's see. It's all conspiracy nuts and Trump supporters. So that's who their followers are. And let's see who we got on the following side of these yayas. La 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 la. So they're following 16. Following Ivanka, following Preacher Dan, following the guy that is under house arrest in Florida. Another conspiracy nut. Two people that follow me. This fake Pedogate site. Whatever the hell this is. John F. Kennedy Jr. And somebody put a trademark up. You know, a registered U.S. trademark. I thought that was funny. That's impersonation, by the way. You're impersonating a dead guy. The Collective Q. That's probably the Russian operation. Whoever that is. Whoever the hell this guy is. Yeah, some really strange people. Yeah, the usual crowd. And let me go back. Yeah, I like some of the crap that they put up here. We know who the den is, whoever the hell the den is. We have screenshots, we know who the members are, we know their faces, we know their addresses, we know everything about them. They are all being watched, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Weird. And they are redoing all the old videos. What is the task force? It's a fraud. That's what it is. So they're trying to get their stuff over on Twitter. And this one that I did a video on this one. This one Russian asset claims that a guy driving a UPS truck wearing a FedEx uniform came to this super duper secret compound with all these Marines with the AK-47s and what have you guarding this place, had a really package from the United States Postal Service to deliver to this Russian asset who was on the lam from a bench warrant. And, you know, on its face, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. And no picture of the UPS truck, no picture of the driver, no picture of the package, nothing. Just this guy saying this idiot stuff on his social media account. Mainly on Facebook, over here on this ridiculous YouTube channel. He had to do this to bypass the ban that he has against him on YouTube and the various places. And people sucking in like a sponge. They say, oh my God, we got all this going on. And the truth, where he got the story from, was this poor lady that was a nurse got shot by a guy pretending to be a UPS driver. He was driving a UPS truck. He was in a UPS uniform. He had a rifle inside the box. She opened the door and boom, one dead woman. And this guy made it all about himself. That's what he does. He takes something in the news, turns it around, and makes it all about him. He did it with the Floyd shooting in Minneapolis. Said, oh, the cops tried to kill me. And then he turned around and said the guy's not really dead. They got him hidden away, he's alive, or the narrative changes. It's gone from him being dead to him being alive to a doppelganger being in his place, or the thing was a whole setup that the cop that is alleged to have committed the murder is an actor. And it's the actor that's played on this reality police show out of New York City. Yeah, so they hired this very famous actor who everybody knows to pretend to be a cop choking this guy to death. Yeah, this is the kind of crap he comes up with. I thought I was weird when I said, damn, these people are grabbing at straws to come up with this one. Yeah, but considering the fact that he's going around saying that he's a spokesman for this super duper secret government agency that nobody's ever heard of, the Pentagon hasn't even heard of it, and nobody cares. You know, because they believe in reincarnation. But it's funny. So this guy, and he's talking about people that aren't even on the internet anymore. They totally ignore. They're gone. Nice 12-mile radius of Polk County, Minnesota. No, it's statewide. You need to read the document, dude. And it's funny because when I've talked to the people up there, and they are happy as hell that they don't ever see this guy again. They don't want to waste the taxpayers' money on him. They don't care. They don't care if he ever shows up because he can't come to Polk County and make all these ridiculous lawsuits anymore. He's been shut up. He can sit down and live off the skirts of this fat woman down in Minnesota, and nobody's going to touch him. They don't care. They're glad he's gone. They had a big party. Said, oh my God, he's gone. We don't have this guy bugging us anymore. We don't have him calling up and saying that somebody tried to put drugs in his rearview mirror or somebody knifed his tires anymore. They don't have to put up with this bullshit. By leaving Polk County, Minnesota, he saved the taxpayers a fortune. Nobody in that town likes the guy. Nobody. They're glad he's gone. He abused the court system in that state so much that they labeled him what they call a vexatious litigant. He can't represent himself in court anymore. He's got to have a lawyer. So he's, And what's funny about all this, that I find the most laughable thing about all this, is what is this guy running away from? Not running away from a murder rap. He's not running away from a felony. He's not running away from a big-ass crime. He's running away from a misdemeanor. Very, very small charge. Misdemeanor. That's nothing. You go to court, spend 2 hours in court, they may slap you in the county hoosgow for a month or two, and you're done. You can plea out. Say, I won't, I'll obey the law. I won't do anything anymore. They probably would have given him probation, even on the second charge. If he pled out, this would be behind him. He could say, I beat the system. But no. He runs away. And he silenced himself. Because now he can't get anything in court. Can't get up in court and plead his case. Because he's been cut off. He cut himself off. Because, fine, he's not going to be in the Polk County courthouse. He's going to be out there living off of people. And the only people that pay attention to this guy are, that little circle of people that he hangs around with. It's the same with me. I mean, I don't have a huge impact. Right now I got 13 people that's watching this. When this records, I average about $1.50 that watch it over a 2-week period. No big deal. I'm not a big, which is funny. This is what surprises me about all this. It's because I don't have a big YouTube channel. It's like, there's a guy named Monty out there, and he just talks about general stuff, and, some theories and stuff. He has thousands of people. You go over and look at his channel, he's got 2,000-3,000 views. Even this moron. You go over to his YouTube channel, he's got like 2,000-3,000 people. So what's he worried about little old me for? Every once in a while, I write on a blog that nobody reads, which I find kind of interesting. There's all this uproar about me and these other people. We're we don't have the reach. We don't get that many responses. We're small potatoes. And yet these people have a burr up their ass about what we say on their channels. I find it incredible. And they go through this unbelievable smear campaign. I mean, rip-off report, there's this, can't think of the name of it now, but there's this thing where they came after me. And it's, yeah, I find it kind of interesting. But what are you going to do? It's the nature of, these people remind me of AM radio. Way back when I was a truck driver, used to be a show called Coast to Coast America. And in Coast to Coast America, they do all this UFO stuff. They do the most outrageous crap. And that's where people like this used to hang out. Is because Coast to Coast AM radio has had and still has a problem of getting audience share. Because, number one, AM radio is a crappy place to do music. And back in the day, AM radio was the only thing in town. FM didn't even exist. And so you had local stations that did the DJ thing, and all of a sudden, FM comes into the picture. And when FM came into the picture, because of the quality of the broadcast spectrum and the ever-increasing range of FM radio, all your music channels migrated to FM. And so all this bandwidth on the AM spectrum was there for the taking. And you had all these little shows that came up, and the conservative media took over, Rush Limbaugh and all kinds of weird-ass people. Glenn Beck got his start on AM radio. Sean Hannity got his start on AM radio. I mean, right now, on the daylight talk radio system, it's virtually 80 to 90% conservative. That's all there is. News, talk, you get your hourly news reports, your 15-minute weather reports, and all this. It's all on AM radio. Art Bell, he's, And I used to listen to it because I thought it was the funniest shit there ever was. I also used to listen to the Mercury. They had like the Mercury Broadcast Theater. They had all kinds of stuff on there. They had some really interesting things on there. The Mercury was a lot like the old-fashioned radio before television, where they did these half-hour to hour-long things. And there's a very powerful, and still in existence, there's a very powerful radio station that caters to truck drivers. And they play a lot of country music and things that have to do with truck drivers and weather and all kinds of stuff. So there's that stuff out there. But even that's migrated. You have that stuff up on satellite radio now. And so, there's all this. But now you have the internet. And the internet has made it possible that anybody that can click a mouse key can get on and be their own radio show. They can do their own podcast. They can do what I'm doing here. They can do what these Russian assets are doing. I mean, everybody can do it. They have 5-year-old kids doing this crap. And you got, YouTube is funny. They got, they have 4, 5, 6,000 people tuning in to watch eagles in a tree. Or they'll watch Russians crashing into each other. Or they'll watch, there's a channel that basically you go to and you can watch trains go by. If you know the schedule, you can get on there and all of a sudden this train goes flying through with all these freight cars on it, or Amtrak. You can go to an airport and watch airplanes take off and land. All kinds of stuff. And they get all these viewers for stuff like that. And stuff like what I'm doing here, 9 people. There's not many, it's just the way it is. You know, anybody can do anything on the internet. You know, what you're going to attract is something that, you know, if you hit right, you're going to hit it big. If you don't hit right, you're not going to hit it big. You know, I got 800 and some odd. Matter of fact, let me check. I think the last I checked, I had right around 845, 846 subscribers. You know, and of course, the Russian asset says I'm losing all my subscribers. They're running away because of what I talk about on here. So, let's just double check. I'm just curious. My channel. Let's see. I'm going to put my glasses on here. Old age. I believe I'm at 846. It's, yeah. I'm exactly 846 subscribers. My Misa report, which is a sneak preview, I got 125 on there. 195 there. Die had 300. That's, you know, interesting. 226, 170. That's my average. I hit about, like I said, I hit about $1.50 a day on my recorded videos. That's one of the reasons I do these. I do it partially as a live stream, but I also do it because it's going to get recorded, and then people that didn't watch the live stream will come back and they'll watch the recordings. But let me check something out just for the hell of it. Oh, I know what I want. Did that different. Yeah, I see. This is what I find funny. I mean, okay, we go over here to this other channel, the one that says that I am losing. Now, this channel, the one that I declare is the Russian asset, they have 28,900 subscribers. They get an average, okay, we got 6,600 here, got 17,000 there, 27,000 there, 17,000 there, 7,000 there, and 58,000 here. So this is this big, giant media empire. They got tens of thousands of subscribers. 28, almost 30,000 subscribers this guy's got that listen to this bullshit. And they're worried or are even paying attention to this pathetic little YouTube channel with 11 people watching me. And maybe 150, 200 people may watch this over the course of 2 weeks. What is the threat here? I don't get it. I've never gotten it. I mean, these people are nothing. You know, I am nothing to these people. Yet they gaslight me. They come up with this vicious smear campaign that has nothing to do about the topic that I talk about. And crazy. Now, what's funny is you go to the Facebook channel of this one Russian asset. Now, what they don't give. All right, he's got 4,999 friends. That's about 5,000 friends. And you go down. And, 16 minutes. He does it again. Now, this is what's funny. This guy has got 30,000 people on his YouTube channel. 30,000. And so what does he do? He puts up an illegal telephone call to me. This man supports unlawful activity. It is against the law, number one, to record somebody in the state of Florida. We are what we call a two-party state here. the person that made this call is supposed to tell me that they're recording me. That's number one. Number two, he's violating my copyright using this picture. This picture was, I was not on the phone call when this picture was created. I was on my cell phone. So we go there. Number three, the man making the call to me was using a website where they have recordings of movie stars, famous people, and it's a soundtrack. And when you're talking to somebody, you hit the soundtrack, and basically the person is unknowingly talking to a recording. It's called a soundboard call. And just for the hell of it, now, for whatever reason, there it goes. I'm going to put this in here. Because this, this is what this spokesperson to the President of the United States that's supposed to be doing this big investigation. This is what he does. This is the kind of person that we have. Some of you I've told about this before, but I'm going to put this here. But this came off his Facebook page. This is what he puts up. Now, if you scroll down, you're going to see that the person that put this up, he goes by Monoxide, MMAC. And the individual, what's interesting about this picture that Monoxide MMAC is, that is not Monoxide. The real Monoxide. His name is Joshua Melton, M-E-L-T-O-N. He's from southeastern Kentucky. And he's a short, fat, at the time he was short, kind of chubby. I think over the years he's kind of thinned out. But the man in the photograph with the, for a long time, I thought that was a movie star, and it's not. That is a serial killer. It's a guy that went around, killed a bunch of people. Very well-known serial killer. I found this out not too long ago. I never realized that. I thought it was James Dean, that young guy that kind of made a piece of aluminum foil out of a Porsche back only years ago. But now, Monoxide did a bunch of these videos. Did Everlast, maybe. And he did LP and Andrew Dice Clay. Now, people know who Andrew Dice Clay is. Now, Leonard Padilla is the guy that came to Orlando, and he tried to get Casey Anthony to tell him what happened to Kelly Anthony. He bailed her out, tried to get her to explain what happened. She refused to do so. So she went back to jail. He withdrew his bail. She wound up back in jail. He spent a fortune of his own money to conduct a search for Kelly. It failed. He went up to Palatka, Florida, spent his own money up there to help with the search for Haley Cummings. Now, Monoxide thought it'd be cute to do one of these phone calls to Leonard Padilla. And I'll put the link to this, because I think it's important for people to understand the kind of people that the Russian asset supports. And so we got this one. Now, Monoxide also did one of me with Judge Judy, which was kind of interesting. But Monoxide did something really interesting, and it's as you might notice if you see January 10th, 2009, if you look at his channel, that's the last thing he did. And let me go. January of 2009 is the last you heard of monoxide. That was 10 years ago. What happened to monoxide? Where'd he go? He was doing all these things. He had all these funny videos. He had 1,000 views. Only had 25 subscribers. And even with the help of the Russian asset, he doesn't have that many views. I mean, people look just to see what all the rub's about, but what happened to monoxide? I've done videos on this before. My veterans in here know, but for all you newcomers, monoxide put child pornography on Leonard Padilla's chat site when he was doing Ustream. Links to child pornography. This is on a stream that was talking about a missing child. This is the kind of people that Tim Holmseth supports. And I use the Russian asset's name. My bad. But I'm not going to edit it out. And this has been pointed out to him time and time and time and time again. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his source of information as long as it gaslights the people that he's trying to get to. This guy that has 30,000. One short of 30,000. He'll probably get, somebody will go in there and subscribe, get on his Facebook, and he'll get his 30,000. But 4,999 friends, 29,000 YouTube subscribers. And he's worried about a guy that has 12 people on his YouTube channel. What is he so damn scared of? That he has to gaslight such a small potatoes. And I'm not the only one. Everybody he goes after and his handler are people that at most have 1,000 people, if that. The majority of people that go after this group of Russian assets don't have that many people. They're small. But they have to go through this incredible smear campaign because they're scared of us. That's all it is. They're scared of us. Why pay attention to us all? Why link our YouTube channels? Which I find funny. He sits there and he links, and she links my YouTube channel. So I get views because they link. What is he trying to get at with me? He's trying to intimidate me to leave him alone. And if he would just shut up and go away, I would leave him alone. I've told him that. I say, shut the F up and leave me alone. It's the only reason, because I have to defend myself against his garbage, against his lies, against his illegal activities. Because it is against the law to aid and abet a criminal. Monoxide was convicted of distribution of child pornography. That's why he's not on the internet. He's prohibited from being on the internet. It's a lifetime ban. Cannot be on the internet. Tim don't care. These Russian assets don't care because it's, they will use false information generated by pedophiles to go after somebody that fights pedophiles. I got started fighting pedophiles. I got started fighting people that were doing romance scams. And they came after me for it because I was invading their turf. See, that's the problem with these people. This Russian asset that put up that YouTube video is mad because a celebrity involved in a missing child case in Palatka, Florida, told him to go take a flying fuck. Said, leave us alone. We don't want you. Go do it on your own. We reject you. And he can't take rejection. And so the only reason he is going after this woman and those around him is because he was rejected. He can't take rejection. And so he figures, General Flynn, that if he keeps putting this stuff up, he's either going to discredit me or he's going to make me run away. That's just, he's been doing this for years. And his girlfriend, this other Russian asset's helping him do it. Because they're scared of me. They're scared of the truth. And people see it. They're preaching to the choir. Their people. Oh my God, they say, praise the Lord and blah, blah, blah. And he's threatened for years. 10 years now. This has been going on since 2008, 2009. He has said that the FBI, the CIA, the Secret Service, and now this task force is going to arrest me. 10 years this has been going on. And nothing. He's made police reports to at least 70 different police agencies and law enforcement agencies throughout the country. Not one of them has contacted me. Not one. I contacted a couple of them and they said, don't worry about it. This guy's an idiot. He's given us hundreds of these things about everybody. He's very well known by many different law enforcement agencies. And they just dismiss him. They say they file it. They know he's a moron. Judges know he's a moron. Lawyers know he's a moron. He sued me and a woman he has never, ever met. He has never met either one of us. And he sued the both of us for defending ourselves. And lost. Case was thrown out. Lawyer didn't know what the hell he was doing. He used a lawyer that's suing an online cow to sue us. That's how desperate he is. Once the lawyer found out he screwed up, the case evaporated. It's no longer around. He loses. He has not won a single case. Not one. He's lost everything. He's a loser. So, I came to the decision, at least I tried to, just say screw it. He's not worth my time. And when I go away, and he comes back. And here we go again. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He just put this up. Something similar to Epstein. Florida man William K. Murtathon's role in federal investigation tracking women that were taken overseas. That's false. I never said any such thing. And he's done this before. He's had this before. But we go into this report. And he's violated my copyright again. He has, And federal law enforcement knows the actual identity and routes of children that were abducted in the United States and trafficked overseas. That is according to William K. Murtaugh. Where did I say this? Now, yes, the Justice Department has a pretty good idea of where these kids are going, how they're getting there, and in some cases who is doing it. But this is very well known knowledge. Everybody knows this. They report about it on national TV all the time. I didn't dig up anything new. But this is what hi Levi, this is what he reports. He's saying that I said this. I said no damn such thing. I'm a retired truck driver that writes an occasional blog that has 14 people watching me on a YouTube channel. I don't have that kind of power. I don't have that kind of information. And yet he writes this stuff. And then he brings up this Channel 6 thing that had absolutely nothing to do with Epstein. It had to do with me live streaming from a river. And that's it. But this is what he does. He brings the stuff up over and over and over and over again. Now, what's funny about this, if you watch the Channel 6 report, I was able to, in 2009, to get 4,000 people watching my live stream with no advertising. I just went on the air. It was word of mouth. Everybody found out about it. I wasn't on YouTube. I wasn't on Facebook because Facebook didn't exist. And I got 4,000 people. And I was interviewed by 4 different media outlets. I was interviewed by Channel 6. I was interviewed by a station in Ohio. I was interviewed by Telemundo, of all people. And there was another channel that I can't remember. But I was interviewed several times because I had the ability to live stream over the internet. I was the only private live streaming service covering this case 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The only one. And that's why Channel 6 interviewed me. Now, they were a little jealous because I was able to live stream from a van, from a news truck, using equipment that I personally put together for 1/10 the cost of what they had to do. They had to go out and they would have to buy tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. They would have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars in access fees to broadcast this stuff back to their studio live. And I could do it for pennies on the dollar. And it drove them nuts. And they were doing the same thing. I mean, the anchor of this particular TV show made a snide remark about it. On the very day that they were flying helicopters chasing George Anthony down the road in a helicopter. And they whined at me because I was doing the same thing with my van. Because they were jealous. Yeah, of course he's jealous of me, Rebecca. He's jealous, because I'm competition. At least he thinks I am. But he upgrades me by putting up stuff like this because people come over here to find out what this is all about. And then they find out that all these cartoons, see, he's the very same pattern he's put up. He does this every time I come on the air, like clockwork. So he's either watching this, more likely he's watching this. He's got the prank call. He's got the prank call again. He's got Merton Geraldo, which is a cartoon. This was, I can't remember the name of this, but this is a cartoon. This is one of these video cartoon things. And what you do, let me see if I can, now, let me go over to YouTube. Now this was put up by a woman who got mad because I threw her out of my room because she was going around claiming that children lied about being raped by their biological father. And it was the children lied scandal. And what this is I'm going to put this link here. You guys can go watch this. This stuff's this is the kind of shit I had to put up with over the years. But this is a channel where, or it's a service where, see if I can go to the end and see if they give the name of it. But you go there, you type in a script. I don't know who did this, Levi. But this is just one of a bunch of stuff that was done. Let's see. Yeah, Extra Normal. XTRANORMAL.com. You go there. They have you can type the stuff out. You pick these cartoon characters, and you can make these little skits. And for whatever reason, Tim thinks this is some big deal that somebody went and did this. And all it is some dumbass that's gaslighting me. And what I find interesting is Tim will get on there and he'll say, oh, these people are making these fake telephone calls to me, these prank calls, and you look at the caller ID, and it's President Trump calling them, or the FBI, or this, that, and the other thing. And yet he turns around and puts up the very same thing that's being done to me. And he's saying, it's okay if everybody does this to Mert, but it's not okay that they do this stuff to me because I'm a spokesman for this big super duper secret government agency. He's a hypocrite. And it's laughable. And every time I come on the air, no matter what I talk about, he puts this crap up. And you know, the thing of it is, I think his people are getting bored. I mean, they're going to, pretty soon they're going to say, Tim, you put the stuff up every time. There's nothing new. It's the same stuff over and over and over again. He cannot come up with anything but these soundboard calls and the cartoons. Biggest weapon he's got, cartoons. And the other thing he puts up, which he's been told about over and over and over again, well, I think he deleted everything because it's gone. But he puts up the fake chats. Now, maybe his handler's putting this stuff up. I don't know where I found all this stuff, but it's gone. But so why now this Russian asset's mad because the woman has locked her Twitter account. So what? I'm locked out of the Russian assets Facebook account. The guy locked me out of his account because one of his people was making death threats against me. He was threatening violence against me. So this Russian asset blocks me from his Facebook account. To this day, I cannot directly access this guy's Facebook account. I have to have a friend of mine do it for me. Several, actually. But again, why me? Why her? There's no evidence. There's what is known. The woman that put this particular post up claims to be a judge. Some kind of municipal tax judge or whatever the hell it is. She should know what hearsay is. And it's hearsay. There is no prosecutable evidence against this woman. She has never met this woman. The other Russian asset that she handles has never met this woman. He's talked to her on the phone, written letters, but never met her. He has never stepped foot in the state of Florida, gone over, and personally met this woman. It's his defense. He says, no, I didn't do any of this. I never met the woman. I said, well, I'm not guilty of anything. Well, you're guilty of not telling the truth because you never met the woman. You never personally met the people you talked to. You talked to people on the phone. You listen to tape recordings, emails. Maybe somebody had something stamped by a notary. That's it. None of that stuff is useful in court. Because I guarantee you, if the FBI, Florida Bar Association, Secret Service, any of these people, if they ever thought any of this stuff was valid, this woman's ass would be on trial. This has been going on for 10 years. Nothing. Squat. He has accused the governor of the state of Florida of being part of this ring. A Republican by the name of Scott. Republican state attorney, Pam Bondi. He's accused her of being part of this ring. He's accused dozens of law enforcement agencies. He's accused the vice president, current vice president of the United States, of flying to the state of Minnesota for the express purpose of killing him. He's saying that Vice President Pence wants to kill him, wants to assassinate him, wants to execute him. It's on his blog. You know, it's out there. Mike Pence is so desperate, he wants to assassinate an unemployed pizza delivery driver. There are people, he has claimed at least twice, and as many as 3 times, that law enforcement has tried to frame him for being a drug dealer. He has accused someone of knifing the tire of his car. He declared that if it wasn't for him having a dash camera in his car, that a local cop that pulled him over for not wearing his seatbelt would have done something to him. He would have gotten off, he would have gotten a false arrest, something. So he had to have he just happened to have his dash cam turned on. This is what he does. And this other Russian asset's right there helping him. You know, these people don't believe in the truth. Now, just because somebody locks their Twitter account doesn't mean anything. They want to be left alone. They want their stuff to be private. They don't want to be stalked. That's the whole purpose of locking your account. You know, what is so hard to understand about that? But it drives them nuts because they can't harass this woman, because she's protected her tweets. She has these people blocked. Just like I'm blocked. So there you go. You know, actions speak. You know, these people are frauds. They're out and out frauds. They're damaging this country. She's putting out false information about these masks that are going to cause people to die. Probably already has. 2 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. Now, I was accused of participating in a chat. Now, I went to the Lake County Sheriff's Department and to the Leesburg City Police Department and to the Orange County, Florida Police Department about this fake chat. And they told me, hey, you ain't got nothing to worry about. This is crap. This is fake. Number one, it's not illegal to engage in this kind of conversation. It's ridiculous. But it's also fake. It's an obvious fake. And what's funny, what Tim does not put up, what this Russian asset does not put up, and what this other Russian asset does not put up, is that the person who helped create this fake chat confessed. You know, this is all of my videos. If you go through my YouTube channel, it's there. They confessed. So, but Tim will not investigate. He just told me it's not my job to investigate. All I can do is put that up there. If you want to investigate it, you go investigate it. Well, I'm the one you're accusing. You're using your reputation as a journalist to accuse me of these things, and you won't investigate it? Journalists are supposed to get to the truth. It's in the motto. There's a motto that people in journalism are taught, and the one thing they're taught is they will not deliberately spread unverified, fake information. They will work to verify what it is they're reporting. They will investigate their sources. They will investigate the material. The key is they will investigate. He doesn't do any of these things. He just puts it up there. He says, oh, I'm going to put that up there. People can make up their mind. Now you notice, image shack. This is an image of an image. You have to squint to read this stuff. It was so bad, he actually wrote a transcript in order to make people clear on what this was. But it's all fake. I'm receiving questions about that filthy Murs. Yes, he got in trouble claiming to know the welfare status of kidnapped child. No, that is not true. And this has been debunked. I don't know if the police dug up his backyard or not. No, they did not, because they debunked all this. You know, and he's lied about getting these questions anyway. He always does. He lies about everything. Says, I am the official news reporter for the Field McConnell case. No, I did not say that. What I did say is, because I happen to live in the state of Florida, that I am going to cover the Field McConnell's case. I am 2 hours, well, actually I'm 3.5 hours from the courthouse. So I'm in a good position to go down there and report the facts. F-A-C-T-S, facts. I will report on what happens there. If I can live stream mobile, I'll live stream the thing live. That's why I needed 1,000 subscribers. So we're live stream live. Now his handler, she can hop on a jet airplane, fly down here, stay in her condo in Florida, and come over and do the same damn thing. We got media down here. Fort Lauderdale, we've got there's probably 8 different major network stations in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area that if they felt so inclined, they could cover this trial. But it's not important enough to them. I've already talked to them. They said, no, we're not going to have anything to do with that. It's nothing. Yeah, it has to do with a prominent attorney, but it's nothing. We got more important things. We got the coronavirus down here. They got all kinds of shit going on. We ain't got time to cover this, and nobody's going to cover it. But I'll be there. If and when they decide to go forward with this thing. Right now, because of the coronavirus thing, Bill McConnell's under house arrest. And people are using him to collect tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. It's up to like $30,000, $40,000 the last I checked. Now if the lawyer gets the money, that'll be interesting, because this is another thing. Not one piece of legal paperwork has been filed with either the state of Florida, the state of Wisconsin, state of New York, or the United States government regarding these funds. There are legal things that have to be done when you are conducting this kind of a fundraiser on behalf of another individual. You just can't go out and say, hey, we're raising money for this guy's legal defense fund. You have to show to the government where this money is, what bank it's in, and all this. Because these companies that do these fundraisers, they don't sit there and hold on to your money for 6 months and then say, okay, here's your money. You have to take it out in a certain period of time. I have one of these accounts. I know how they work. You have to take the money out, or the money gets refunded to the donors. So that means that on a regular basis, this money is coming out of that account, and it's going somewhere. And there has been no record, no audit, nothing indicating where this money is going. Now, I would suggest that anybody that has any questions about the policy of the company that they are using to raise these funds, go to the website where the woman running this account is using, and read their terms of service. Read what happens every so often with these funds. See for yourself. And then ask yourself, where is all this money going? I don't recall anything from the lawyer that said he's received any of this money. I don't know of any bank where this money is being held at. I don't know of anybody that's handling this money other than this individual. So where is the record? Where is the audit of all these funds? This is what people need to ask, because we're talking about a very large amount of money. And there's more than one of these fundraisers. And they're claiming that they're making a lot of money off these fundraisers on behalf of Mr. McConnell. Now, the question is going to be, is Mr. McConnell or his lawyer going to see these funds? That would be an interesting thing. So, well, yeah, this is what I say about these cartoons, these videos. It's old news. It's debunked stuff. It was stuff done by pedophiles because they were being targeted. It was done by bitter women who were rebuked for trying to ruin the reputation of children. And Tim Honseth knows this. These Russian assets know this. They were told dozens of times, year after year after year. No, the stuff is fake. It's been debunked years ago. But he won't let it go because he is scared of me. This is a guy that has 30,000 viewers on his YouTube channel, 30,000 subscribers, tens of thousands of views. Right now, I got 11 people watching this stream. 11. When this thing goes into YouTube in a few hours, I may get 100, 150, maybe 200 tops that come in and watch all this. And they're not going to watch the whole thing. They watch my average. If you were to go in and look at my viewing hours, people tune in for about 15 minutes and say, not interested, move on. I don't get it. I've asked myself, what the hell is this guy's problem? He's got people a hell of a lot bigger than me going after him. He's got this Discuss guys that's gone after him. There's a lot of big YouTubers out there that have exposed this idiot and continue to expose this idiot. These people are a hell of a lot bigger than me. They have a bigger reach. They got multiple websites. They got YouTube. They got Facebook. They got this, that, the other thing. They got their own website. They're well organized. They're professional. They do a good presentation, a hell of a lot better than I do. And he's scared. He's scared of them. Hardly ever mentions them. And he mentions this guy out of Canada. Another crackpot, by the way, but the one who created the Children's Crusade. Claims that Phil McConnell stole it from him. The guy has a warrant out. Strangely enough, for the same thing that's got Phil McConnell locked up in Florida under house arrest, and the same thing that this Russian agent was convicted of, first of four counts. And the reason he's running away right now from a misdemeanor, exact same thing. Canadian law is a little different, but it's the same thing. And he says, oh, look at what this guy's, yeah, Russian asset. They're after you for the same reason. Now, he says that, it's only good for 12 miles from where he's at. Wrong. I've talked to the people. It's good for the entire state where he's at. If he stays in Minnesota, there's a chance they'll get him. All it takes is a parking ticket. All it takes is a loitering charge. All it takes is a plausible cause. If he has a taillight go out and he's running down the road, they'll light the beacons up, say license registration. Oh, there's a bench for you out of Polk County, Wisconsin. Have a seat in the back of our car. We're going to read you the Miranda and we're going to haul you back to Polk County. So he'll find out real quick about that 12-mile radius bullshit. I have not seen one thing in writing from a court, from a sheriff, from a state trooper, from anyone that says that he's restricted within a 12-mile radius on that bench warrant. You know, and the funny thing about that, he can't vote. You know why? Because he's not a resident of the state of Minnesota. If he sends an absentee ballot to the state of Minnesota, he'll be committing voter fraud because he no longer lives in that apartment. He would have to change his driver's license, which is another thing. If he's driving around or is in possession of a driver's license with his address at that apartment in Minnesota, he's in violation of Minnesota law. You have to have a current address where you are living right now. And it cannot be a post office box. I've checked Minnesota law. Has to be a street address. You have to register to vote. Voter registration in all 50 states is public information. It's easy enough. You can go, you can check my voting registration. You can check the voting registration of anybody in this country who is registered to vote. And all your information is there. Your name, address, street address, and your party affiliation. If you're a Republican, Democrat, it's there. Because in order to vote in the primary, you got to register to vote. And you got to register as the party you're going to vote for. Even an open primary, you have to be something, even if it's not party affiliated. Got to register. And you can't use an old address. You can't say, "Oh, I'm traveling on the road." No. If you're a resident of this state, you have got to have a current address. And that's current. You can't use the address of an apartment that you moved out of. And your driver's license and the registration of your car has to match. They have to both be the same. And he'll find that out. If he gets pulled over and he gives them an address that he's no longer at, he's in violation of Minnesota law. Or, whatever state he's in. Because if I was in Florida and I went to the state of Minnesota and I was living in the state of Minnesota and I still kept my Florida driver's license and my Florida registration, I'm in violation of Minnesota law. I have to change within a certain amount of days all this information. I have to have an address. I have to abide by the law of that state in order to get a job and in order to vote. I can't be running around the state of Minnesota as a resident and vote in the state of Florida. Now, I can be on vacation anywhere in the country doing absentee ballot because I maintain a Florida residency. I have a current address. I pay my taxes in this state. Everything. It's all right there. Well, I don't pay my taxes. We don't have income taxes down here, and I don't own a house, so I don't pay property tax. But I do my registration, I do my license, all this stuff I do in the state of Florida. And at this address that I'm at right now. If I want to vote in November, everything has to match. And it's the same way with this Russian asset in Minnesota. He had better have a fixed address. But the problem is all anybody has to do is check his voter registration. See where he's registered to vote. If it's at his apartment in Polk County, Minnesota, he can't vote because he doesn't live there. His lease is up. He's gone. If he's living with somebody, he has to establish that as his address. He cannot use a post office address. It has to be a physical address. And I'll double check on that just to be sure. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. Because in the state of Florida, you can't do it. You cannot use a post office box as an address. You have to have a physical address. They do that to prevent voter fraud. They don't want people running around getting post office boxes in every state in the country and voting. They're very strict on it. It's a $5,000 fine if you vote where you're not supposed to. So he can't vote. So Trump lost one voter because he can't vote. So there's that. When his registration comes due on his car, he's got that to worry about. Where are you going to register your car? You don't live where you live anymore. You're going to lie to the Department of Motor Vehicles? Probably. He'll lie, because that's all he knows how to do is lie. He lies constantly. He comes up with this non-existent task force. Yep, still at it. There will be justice for Trenton Duncan. He's put this picture up before. But, see, this so-called investigative reporter that keeps putting this crap up, they just put up, I think this is the 12th or 13th time he's put this particular picture up, violating my copyright again. But if he calls down to the Leesburg City Police Department, they're going to tell him, we already know what happened to Trenton. His mother killed him. His mother is responsible for the disappearance of that child. We can't close the case because she blew her head off because of Florida law, but there's no investigation. There's no person of interest. Nothing. It is obvious, as obvious can be, that the mother of that child had something to do with his disappearance, whether she killed him or she gave him away. She is solely responsible. Now, why did the mother of that child kill herself and leave a note borderline confessing to killing him? Not in so many words. It was kind of a cryptic thing, but she knew that something had happened to Trenton Duncan, and it's 99% of the members of the Leesburg City Police Department, Lake County Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement have said that it is likely that Melinda Duckett is responsible for the death of her child. Solely responsible. Now, getting back to all these cartoons and the telephone calls and the fake chats, there's an interesting fact about Joshua Melton that I pointed out to this Russian asset at least a dozen times, and to other people, and in my blogs and on my YouTube. Joshua Melton lived 10 minutes from Melinda Duckett's house, where this picture is that I took. Joshua Melton, again, who made all these soundboard calls that this Russian assets put up, went to high school with Melinda Duckett. He was in high school at the same time Melinda Duckett was. Joshua Melton claimed on several occasions to have known Melinda Duckett. Joshua Melton claimed to have gone to parties where Melinda Duckett was. This Russian asset, this investigative reporter, out to find out what happened to these children, never investigated any of this. To this day, he has not investigated it. I laid it out in the blog, on my YouTube channel. Details, details, details. He's totally disregarded all of it. He doesn't care about the truth because it goes against his narrative. He wants to put the blame on me, on the woman from Fort Lauderdale, and all these other people. And it's funny because he gives the links that can be verified. If people would go through all my blogs, all my YouTube videos, they'd see it. It's there. No, I did not. I have never met Casey Anthony. I never claimed to have met Casey Anthony. The closest I came to Casey Anthony was in the Orange County Courthouse. Period. This is a lie that's been spread around by people for years, and it's verifiable. But this is the thing, socialist. Why won't Tim Homseth investigate monoxide? Why won't Tim Homseth, have to use his name, he's a Russian asset, but I have to use his name. Why won't he call the Leesburg City Police Department, the lead investigative agency? Why won't he call the Orange County Sheriff's Department, the lead investigative agency for the Cummings case, or the Casey Anthony case? He has never called the Orange County Sheriff's Department. He's never called the Leesburg City Police Department. He's never written to any of these agencies. He has not investigated anything. Nothing. No, I never claimed that, socialist. Never, ever did I claim that. See, this is the thing, socialist. You bring stuff up that has been proven false. I am 69 years old. Casey Anthony is roughly in her 30s now. She was very young. You know, I was 60 years old, 55 or 58 to 60 years old at the time that this case went down. I don't go to clubs. I was running a business. I was driving a truck, running car shows, going around leasing commercial vehicles. I don't go clubbing. It's not my thing. I don't drink. You know, it's stupid when you stop and think about it. And people would have seen me at these parties. If I went to all these parties, people would have seen me. The nightclub that she frequented is a small nightclub. There's maybe, you can only get about 200 people in there. And some old buzzard that's 55, 58 years old and hanging around with a bunch of teenagers and 20-somethings is going to stand out like a sore thumb. Don't be ridiculous. Do I think Joshua Duckett could have had it? Anything is coulda, woulda. I mean, you can speculate, but there is no proof. Here we go. No, Levi is not a fraud. You know, I mean, you can see where your bias is. Socialist, I don't know why you even come in here. This is what's so funny. I mean, Timothy Homseth has got this big empire over there. I've got maybe, see, now I've got 10 people over here because you're one of them. So that's, who is SM? Oh, never mind. But, you know, this is the thing. I've got a channel here with 10, 12 people. And this socialist person comes in and gaslights the channel. What is so important about this channel that this person has to come in here? I'm not going to ban the person. I mean, moderate, let this individual speak. I want this on the record because I want people to see how paranoid these people are. This is how paranoid all these communist Russian assets are. That they come over here and they gaslight this channel. And they leave me comments in the comment section. And the other Russian asset, as of 14 minutes ago, puts up this stuff. I'm not hiding. Stuff's out there. You know, I can't do anything about it. No, I did not agree with Nancy Grace. I do not like Nancy Grace. I disagree with her style. I disagreed with it back then. And it's my firm belief that Nancy Grace contributed to the suicide of Melinda Duckett. And there's people that disagree with me about it, but that's my opinion. because she's extremely abrasive. She acts like an interrogator rather than a reporter. And I don't like it. I never have. But there's people that like Nancy Grace. Levi is one of them. And that's fine. People can like whoever they want. Personally, I disagree with her style. There was a lawsuit, there was a settlement of some kind, and that was the end of it. No, I don't gaslight Mary Lee. I happen to like Mary Lee. I disagree with her, and I basically don't communicate with her. But I disagree with some of the things that she has said and done. But I don't gaslight her. I mean, again, it's her opinion. Oh, what's interesting, socialist, is the same person where Tim Holmseth gets all his information from against me, also gaslit Mary Lee, and viciously. And that's radio news. He uses, or virtually everything here came from radio news at one time or another. Levi would have to comment on that. I don't know if he gets paid by Nancy Grace or what have you. So I don't, I don't discount somebody just because they get paid. People are entitled to earn a living, as long as what they're saying is, the truth, or at least it's their opinion, and they're not falsely accusing somebody. They can make all the damn money they want. I don't care. The problem with the Russian asset that you support is that he lies. He falsely accuses. And he is not an investigative reporter. He's a fraud. Period. So you can take that to the bank. But I just find it curious that this Russian asset is gaslighting a YouTube channel with 12 people on it. Alexander Goddard has never been to my house. Never. So I don't know where you're getting your information from, but Alexander Goddard has never been to my residence. And I have not made any deals with Alexander Goddard. There's a lot we disagree about, but we're cordial. We got played by radio, just like everybody else did. And once the truth came out about all these lies, we basically agreed to disagree on our various opinions about things and agree on things we agree about. So, you are in support of the enemy of the United States. It's good to know. Putin's a socialist. The Russian form of government is a socialist form of government. You ought to look into that. You have this thing about socialism. You're supporting a socialist, a type of socialism. You're also supporting a dictator. You realize that Putin is now going to be president of Russia for 36 years, or until 2036. If he doesn't die first. Mother Russia, you're a Russian. So's these assets that are attacking me. They are Russian assets. They are traitors, as well as you, to the United States of America. Because that's what you're advocating. You want the United States to be part of Russia. Here we go. Now, I'm being gaslit, I guess. I wonder who, I'm always curious who's behind these accounts. all these Russian assets that come into an account with 10 people and come up with this bullshit. It's, all you're doing is, you're showing your true selves. You're showing exactly what I claim to be true. You're coming in here, you're gaslighting me, you're trolling this channel. It's exactly what I've claimed for 10 years. So you're proving me right. Thanks for proving me right. This is what happens when this YouTube fraud alert. Yeah, that's not what you asked, socialist. You asked, and let me go back and read it to you. You asked, what kind of deal did you make when Goddard visited your home? That's what you said. Now, yes, I went to Ohio and I interviewed Alexander Goddard. That's it. Well, okay. Okay, YouTube fraud alert. That's fine. But, again, socialist. It's a well-known fact. I live streamed my trip to Ohio. It's what I do. It's on the internet. I went to the Goddard residence. I spent about an hour and a half there. And I left. I did a tour of Steubenville. I made no deal. How many times do I have to answer the same question, socialist? I made no deal. Period. I don't know. What kind of deal have you made with the Russian government to come in here and troll this room? See, this is the thing. You and these two people from Minnesota are Russian assets. They're being manipulated by Q, who is an agent of the Russian government. Q is either one or more agents of the Russian government with the mission to confuse and divide the citizens of the United States of America. They are using our differences against us because there are a vast number of people that will believe the most idiot conspiracy theories out there. And I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Well, the thing of it is, fraud alert. Yeah, This is what I don't understand. There's people in here that hate watching me, but they're in here. You know, no, I'm not moving to Miami Beach. I have no reason to move to Miami Beach. I'm perfectly content where I'm at. I don't, I have been to Miami several times over the years. I have no interest in going down there. I like it right where I'm at. I chose Central Florida for a number of reasons, and I like it here. So, I'm not going down there. One thing I'd like you to ask your Russian asset friend is why there are no pictures of President Trump with Epstein on his Facebook channel, and why his Russian asset handler does not have pictures of Epstein with Trump on her Facebook channel. What are these people scared of that they refuse to put these pictures up there? I mean, there's hundreds of them out there. It's a well-known fact that, I don't know why this thing suddenly decided what to focus. I don't know why everybody is in a big uproar about not putting pictures of Trump with Epstein on there, unless it's to create the false narrative that only people on the right of center, or left of center I'm talking about here. Ugh. Should have opened that before I came in here. Oh, he's no damn prophet, for God's sake. You're telling me that you actually think that Russian asset is a prophet. You're crazy. He's just another guy with a YouTube channel, another guy with a Facebook account, another guy with a blog. Just because he's got 30,000 people doesn't make him special. I mean, you're out of your damn mind calling somebody a prophet. I'm not a prophet. I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel. What the hell's the matter with you people? You're making a god out of somebody because he agrees with your politics. That's crazy. Of course he's in it for profit. He's got a Patreon account with a couple $300 a month, so he's making money there. It's a front. Oh, for crying out loud. Again, she's got a small channel. I mean, what is it with you people? I mean, again, look at the numbers that Homestead has. And the YouTube channel. And his handler's channel. Thousands. And they are worried about a bunch of small channels that maybe have 2, 3, couple hundred people. Very small potatoes. Is he that insecure that he has to worry about these small channels? Well, socialist, you took an oath with a traitor to the United States government, and it's sad that there are people out there that want to see this government end, because that's exactly what you're doing. Flynn admitted that he's a liar. He's basically admitted that he's a traitor. Anybody that's associated with QAnon is a traitor to the United States, period. Because again, QAnon is an operation being run by the Russian government to confuse and separate the citizens of the United States. Their ultimate goal is to destroy this company, and it's people like you that are helping them do it. This is the same thing that happened in Nazi Germany. There were collaborators that undermined the German government, they undermined the French government, and Hitler was able to come in and conquer them. The government is not like, you do it at the ballot box. You don't do it by having a foreign country come in and destroy our form of government. Because that's what's happening. You are participating in the overthrow of the United States. We will no longer be a democracy if QAnon gets their way. We will be a dictatorship. There will be no right to vote. The free speech will be gone. All these rights that you think that is being fought for by the people on the right will be gone. And once again, socialist, I am not being paid by the innocent woman in Florida. I have never met the woman in Florida. I do not get paid by anybody. I am on Social Security. I do not get paid to be on this channel with 10 people voicing my view under the First Amendment. You are dispensing false information like you always do under various names. And, you know, what can I do? You want to sit there and you want to lie about me. It's about as simple as it gets. And all you're doing is you're coming in here proving to people my point. Every time you make a comment on my channel, it's proving my point. So you people are basing on and the Russian asset has made another false statement. And what's interesting is the Russian asset put up radio news. And guess what? Radio news is the one that played everybody against each other. The Russian asset doesn't understand it. There was a time, and it's in writing, that I came to the Russian asset's defense against radio news. And guess what? Because of the efforts of a number of people, radio news is gone. She has disappeared. We have made certain that that person will never, ever be on the internet again. Yes, I do trust Fossey. Now, Fossey doesn't have a political reputation. He's trying to save lives. And the Russian assets out there are spreading false information that are going to get people killed. Simple as that. You know, I challenge the two Russian assets to go out there with no mask on, live on the air, walk into a Walmart, a Target, anywhere where there's a lot of people. Go to one of those Trump rallies. No mask. I dare them to do it. The Russian asset is afraid to leave his house. Wherever he's at. You know, I don't understand this guy. He had the perfect opportunity to get the word out, to be a big deal. And he ran away. You know, yeah, he's got all these people on Facebook, and he's got this YouTube channel. He's got a... But he would have had more influence if he had simply gone to court. Look at what Phil McConnell did. He was in jail. And he was broadcasting from the jail. That's effective use of a resource. The Russian asset could have done the same thing. Phil McConnell was smart. He's an idiot, you know, he's an idiot for getting tied up with this Russian asset to begin with, but he used his resources effectively. And what does the Russian asset do? He live streams in front of a blank wall, live streams from a car full of junk, writes this conspiracy nonsense on his social media account, engages in personal attacks. He's wasting. I don't even know who the hell Rachel Chandler is. Why don't you ask Levi these questions? I'm not a know-it-all when it comes to Levi Page. I've never met the guy. Again, what is so damn important about my channel? This is what's confusing here. Because, again, I've got 10 people. 1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're one of them watching this channel. And the other one is probably this Russian asset, unless you're both the same person. So that means, if I'm lucky, I got 8 supporters watching this channel. I don't get it. And this happens all the time. Not verified. Of course. Always in, what? Why would Kentucky be hit by military? Weird conspiracy theories again. See, this is, personally, I don't care. I just find it weird that I didn't make a deal with anybody. And what? You people have got screwed up priorities. I mean, again, up on my screen, 10 people watching this show, 16 likes, and this troll is in here garnering all this attention. I mean, I don't care. And YouTube fraud, no, trolls are generally useless people. They come up with garbage. Intelligent debate and facts is not their forte. They just gaslight. Regarding question about the flights, another fantasy. Queen mattress and box spring. What the hell is that about? Somebody work for a furniture store and they're selling a box spring and mattress. Looks like this is some of this Q bullshit code. Yeah, you gotta love the world. I come up with some of the dumbest shit. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't anticipate going on this long. This got interesting all of a sudden. Yeah, it's Mert Witness 1 is the host here. Mert for short. Trying to see. Now I have to wonder if it's the same Russian asset that's running this YouTube channel, because they're just, that went up at almost the exact same time the other post about the lawyer went up. Yeah. I mean, I don't want one of these small Twitter channels that's going to die an early death. I'm not into pasta. It has a high gluten content in it, and I can't have a lot of gluten. Do, 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 do. Whoop. Yeah, it's funny looking at this one um, CDC guidelines for school. Comedy, comedy, comedy. Well, I'll tell you what. Send the kids to school. If they're from Trump families, Trump voters, send them to school. Risk them. I don't care. You know, people want to be stupid. You know, I'm not going to sit here and dictate what people do. I mean, the information's out there. You either follow the information or you don't. Better make sure you have your DNRs in your pocket and DNRs in your children's pocket so they don't suffer. I mean, if you're going to send them out there, chicken soup, grilled cheese, and pizza man. Well, I'll tell you, you're partially, you know, I don't understand what's all this is leading to, but I have had chicken soup, chicken stars, all stars is just, you know, but I've had chicken soup. I prefer tomato soup. I prefer cream of mushroom soup. I like clam chowder. And yes, I like pizza. I like mushroom and cheese pizza. And I like Papa John's. They make good pizza. So yeah, what's wrong with pizza? Russian asset must have passed out. You know, when you're on Social Security, you can't go out and buy porterhouse steak. I had liver and onions tonight, by the way. I like a bit liver and onions. Well, not onions. They didn't have onions. They had liver, side of peas, and potatoes. Well, okay, so let's go out there without a mask. Yeah, go for it. Bah. Oh, by the way, when you go out, don't put your seatbelt on. If you ride a motorcycle, don't wear a helmet. Disable your airbags. Drink and drive. I mean, do all that stuff. Yeah. Why not? Be sure to take off your shirt and shoes when you go shopping. Hell, just go around with all your clothes on. Don't be a sheep. Don't wear clothes. Go around with all your clothes off. See how far that gets you. Really got that woman out in Arizona far. You know, she went in there and woman wearing a $40,000 watch goes into Walmart, or into Target, which I thought was kind of weird. And then she destroys a display of masks that she had no intention of wearing in the front. She just said, well, I'm going to destroy all these masks so people don't have to wear them. But guess what? She has to buy all those masks that she destroyed, and then she's been trespassed from the entire chain. She cannot go into any of those stores. None. She's been trespassed. She goes in, she's arrested for trespass, criminal trespass. American style, Kobe, and noun. Well, so Yeah, you know, he rips off the people that he lies to, and they're like little sheep. They send him money so he can buy his filet mignon. So what? I don't care. There's a lot of people that eat filet mignon or prime rib or all these other fancy. You know, there's people that eat shrimp. There's people that eat lobster, shark meat. What am I going to do? Nothing I can do about it. I can't afford that shit. So I'll stick to my pizza and my Pepsi and, you know, my soup. Tomato soup with grilled cheese sandwiches. Have my Rice Krispies in the morning. So what? I mean, I don't care about the lifestyle of these other people. Doesn't bother me a bit. I don't care. The only thing that concerns me about the Russian asset is his constant lying. You know, and advocating violence against women. That's my objection. And I told that Russian asset a decade ago. I said, retract the false information about me and move on. But he can't do that. See, that's the thing. And I've got it written. It's in this video now. I've got it written all over the place. All Tim has to do is retract the falsehoods. All he has to do. Manny's Steakhouse, never been there. I don't care. I've been to Outback. When I drove truck, there's those places out in Amarillo I used to go to. I used to haul meat from this one meat packing plant, and they fed you a free steak dinner while you waited for your load to be killed. You could sit there and eat steak and watch your load being slaughtered that you would haul out of there in an hour. I've had good food in my life. So what? Comes out the same in the end. You know, and I got, you know, like Tommy Lee Jones said in that movie, I don't care. It's not a contest to see who can eat the greatest food. You know, if the Russian asset wants to eat food high off the hog because he's ripping off people dumb enough to believe the crap he's saying, more power to him. There's a lot of stupid people out there. Well, since I have not been in Manny's, I have no idea. I don't even know if we have a Manny's here in Florida. And again, what is this big deal with who people go to eat, or where people go to eat? And whether or not, I don't care if I'm cultured or not. I'm a retired truck driver. You know, what is this obsession? You know, what are you getting at with this? I guess what you would call class warfare. Because you apparently are someone that's able to afford and rip people off and go out and buy these expensive meals. And I can't afford it. So what? You know, maybe I am cultured. I've never heard of Manny's. I don't know if we have a Manny's in Orlando. You know, I certainly don't have anybody that's going to pay for me to go and eat at Manny's like they are the Russian asset. So that's weird. Dumb shit these people bring up. Now, this is the dumbest shit that I've had to put up with. I think it's funny. Arguing about who eats steak and cheese sandwiches. I happen to like cheese sandwiches. I like tomato soup. Every once in a while I'll indulge and I'll get some chocolate ice cream from Winn-Dixie. So what? You know, you basically got your priorities all. Yeah, I'll tell you something. The meat at Outback and the meat at Manny's probably comes from the same cow. Oh, yeah, you got Black Angus, but there's everybody that's got Black. I can go over to Winn-Dixie and buy Black Angus if I want to get Black Angus. It's high quality meat. Yeah, maybe they got seasonings and stuff they put on the steaks and all that. So what? Jesus Christ. I don't eat a caviar. Do you eat caviar? Fish eggs. I haven't eaten, Sheesh. Boy, these trollers, they come in here and they troll about the dumbest shit. I just plug it in something here, trying to. This little thing I tease Amber with us. Oh, socialist is leaving us. Oh my goodness. I guess it's time to go get drunk or something. Yeah, go make a report to your handler about the good job you did. I guess you can call it a good job. I don't know. And I guess with socialist leaving, I guess I'm going to, as soon as I plug this thing in, wait on this. Whew. Down to 10 people. Well, that was entertaining. Weird, but entertaining. You cannot compare to the life Tim's lived. Well, God, I hope not. I don't go around stealing Wi-Fi in a car full of junk. And, I don't care. The only thing that I'm concerned about with a Russian asset is his constant lying and his constant fraud. That's it. I don't care about his lifestyle. I don't care where he's living. I don't care who he's living with. I don't care if he's having sex or who he's having sex with. I don't care about any of that stuff. It's the lying and the advocating of violence against a woman that he's never met. I mean, there's all kinds of things this Russian asset could be talking about. And he's obsessed with this woman from Florida. The woman is got real estate in his head. He eats, drinks, and sleeps, that woman. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that woman's on his mind. That's what's so strange about all this. And again, 10 people. That's how many I got in here. 10 people. And this troll came in here and spent the better part of an hour posting useless crap. I thought you went bye-bye. Again, do the world a favor, socialists. Call down to the Leesburg City Police Department, Leesburg, Florida. Ask for the lead investigator in the Trenton Duckett case. Ask them. Accuse me of having something to do with them. Knock yourself out. Oh, they'll love that. This is, do your homework, socialist. Again, Leesburg City Police Department, Leesburg, Florida, Lake County. Leesburg, or maybe it's Berg. I think it's Berg. Google it. They have a website. Telephone is there. Email address is there. Call them up. Say CIC, lead detective, Trenton Duckett. Talk to him. Knock yourself out. Say, hey, what about this Murtathon guy over in Orlando? Well, I'm in Apopka. What about him? What do you guys think of him? Dare you to do it. I dare the Russian asset over there to do it. I dare the female Russian asset to do it. Call the Leesburg City Police Department. Talk to them. Record it. Somebody did that once. They called these people, recorded it. Guess what? They deleted the recordings because they did not want people to hear what was said. That's what's funny. There was this woman. Her name was Lisa. She called the Lake County Sheriff's Department 4 times. Live on the internet. She put up all these recordings. I did a report on it. She filed a DMCA against me because I used recordings of a conversation with a law enforcement agency. She tried to slap me with a copyright. Failed. But guess what? She deleted it. There are no records of those calls. They're gone. Why? Because the Lake County Sheriff's Department laughed at her. Literally laughed at her. She was sitting there talking to the sheriff. And Lisa had, I should say, this real strange, high-pitched voice. Sounded like Shirley Temple. And they laughed at her. They thought she was a nut. They literally laughed at her. See, law enforcement in Florida records all the conversations. And unfortunately for me, I waited too long to get the recordings. And it would have cost me like $100 to get them anyway. No one's special? Okay, well, you're special for being in here, Gray. Well, just as soon as I get right now I'm at my following limit. When I get my follow limit up to where I can follow, I'll be sure to follow you. But, that's it. I use Twitter as a notification. And that Russian Assets got a Twitter account over there, and they're following me on there, which I think is kind of interesting. But what I'll do is I'll run this for another 15 minutes or so, I guess, and then I'm going to call it. Because I'm beyond. I got a couple things I got to do. But this is... well, the Russian asset an hour ago says we are not law enforcement. Well, the thing of it is you're declaring yourself judge and jury because Russian asset, you have declared this individual guilty based on hearsay. There has been no trial. There's been no indictment. Leanne Kruger retracted the phone call. If Leanne Kruger goes into court and says that she was under the influence of medication, her testimony is no good. She has not been contacted or talked to by law enforcement. As a tax judge or whatever the hell you call yourself, you should know, because you argued it, that hearsay is not admissible in court. So all this stuff that you say you have against this woman is inadmissible. You really need to learn the court system and how evidence is provided to the court. You have nothing, zero, zip, on her, on me, or anybody else that you falsely accuse of this nonsense. Oh, they don't get to me, Gray Moon. I get a kick out of it because they're over there paying attention to me on Facebook. I'm sitting here with 10 people. I checked my YouTube subscription. I got 840 people. This fake task force has almost 30,000 people. Thousands upon thousands of people that tune into their defamatory YouTube channel, and they're worried about little old me. Their Facebook channel is flooded with gaslighting about me. All their conspiracy theories have gone out the window because they've got nothing but me up there. And her. But, and it's like I said at the beginning of the show, I am trying to get away from these people because they're a waste of my time. Now, the thing I don't know is, am I going to be able to have content in here that has nothing to do with the news, has nothing to do with QAnon, or these two Russian assets, and survive? Now, according to her, if I got away from talking about her and him and QAnon, that I would survive. So we're going to see. Because the Mesa Project has nothing to do with politics, has nothing to do with QAnon, has nothing to do with the Russian assets. It's something completely different. It's an experiment. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try, because this was my intention with another YouTube channel I was going to put up that was going to do with this kind of stuff. But I've decided instead to try this here, because the Mesa Project has a purpose, and that purpose I will get into as it progresses. I'm going to start doing pre-production on the Mesa project tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload it. It's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded and uploaded. Okay, the Mesa Project is something completely different. I'm not going to go into detail about what exactly it is, because it's in the broadcasting business, we call this a teaser. It's to get people to tune in to see what all the hubbub is about. I've done this before. But what I will tell you this, it's not news, it's not politics, it's not about the internet frauds like the 2 Russian assets and this troll that came in here. It's something absolutely positively different. And people have done these kind of videos before. Now, this is not going to be a professional production, and it's not going to be as good as some of the other productions of this nature that have been done on YouTube. But what it's going to be is it's going to be something completely different. I hope that it is interesting. I hope I'm able to go through with it, because it's a complicated project. It's a risky project. I may fail, because it's going to take a lot of effort to go through with this particular project. But I'm going to give it a shot. And it's going to take me time. I mean, it's not going to be like all I'm going to do is the Mesa Project. There's going to be other things. I have several different things that are going to be going on. And in October, if things fall together the way I hope they do, I'm going to be doing an operation. It's called Operation Chaos. But it's going to be, that is several months off, but it is a major project. It's an expensive one. But you will not know what Operation Chaos is until it's complete and I upload it. But it's something that's going to happen around October. Haven't sure. I am waiting for some things to come together. I will let people know when Operation Chaos is complete. Not when it starts, not while I'm doing Operation Chaos, but after. That one, I hope, will be an interesting one. The Mesa Project is an experiment to see if I can go completely out of what I've been discussing here. Totally different format, totally different subject, and there's going to be similar ones to that. There's going to be a number of different things. So the best thing I can say is to stay tuned. Now I'm going to do recorded videos from time to time about current things in general, about the Russian assets and some of this other stupidity that's going on. And then maybe some other stuff I'll slip in there. And I'm going to try and do a Murtathon at least once a week. Generally on Fridays, just like I'm doing now. Just going on with BS, maybe let the trolls come in here and make fools of themselves like the socialist person did tonight. So, we'll see. Because this, again, all this is I just sit around and, in an informal way, shoot the crap here on this small YouTube channel. get 10 people come in here, watch it, get a few people chat, voice their opinions. Every once in a while, a troll like Socialist will come in here and, entertain us. And that's about what it is. So, like and subscribe. Click the bell for notification. Visit me. Contact me over on yeah, what the UFO shirt was, that was I picked that up, and I thought it was kind of an interesting thing. I'm interested in UFOs from a practical standpoint. I really don't believe ET has come here. Now, an unidentified flying object is just that. It's an object that's been spotted that has not been identified. Once it's established what the thing is, it becomes an identified. It's no longer a UFO. That's all UFO means. It means it's something has been spotted. They haven't been able to figure out what it was. It's a broad label. It does not mean that little green men from 10 light years away have come down here to pay us a visit or abduct people, or they're going to have lizard people land here or fish people or anything like that. It simply means that it's an unidentified flying object. And the key word is unidentified. People make a big deal out of that word. But that's all it is. I mean, they were doing experiments out in Nevada at that place out there when they were doing the B-1B, and the thing, people that see that thing and they thought it was a flying saucer or an ET vehicle, and it was an unidentified flying object, but it was classified aircraft. And in